What happens when the architect loses control? When rage replaces reason? Today, we witnessed Seth Rollins transform into something we've never seen before. Welcome back to Wrestling vs. CC, your ultimate destination for the most explosive WWE moments, breakdowns, and analysis. If you're new here, smash that subscribe button and hit the notification bell because we bring you the most intense wrestling content on YouTube. And if you enjoyed today's video, drop a like and let us know in the comments what you think about this absolute chaos. Tonight wasn't just another episode of Monday Night Raw. Tonight, Seth Rollins crossed a line that nobody expected. The visionary, the architect, the man who built his legacy on calculated precision, threw everything out the window and became a force of pure destruction. For weeks, Seth Rollins has been dealing with not one, but two absolute monsters. Bron Breakker, the second-generation powerhouse who's been tearing through the WWE roster like a freight train with no brakes. And Bronson Reed, the 300-pound tsunami who leaves destruction in his wake. These two juggernauts have made Seth's life a living nightmare. But tonight was different. It started in the ring. Seth was scheduled for a promo segment, ready to address both Breakker and Reed. But before he could even lift the microphone to his lips, Bronson Reed's music hit. The Australian behemoth stormed down that ramp with bad intentions written all over his face. Seth stood his ground, ready for the fight. Then came Bron Breakker from behind. The calculated ambush. The numbers game playing out exactly as these two monsters had planned. Seth tried to fight back, throwing signature superkicks and desperate punches, but how do you fight off 600 pounds of combined fury? The double powerbomb through the announce table was the breaking point. The medical staff rushed out. Commentary sold it like Seth might be seriously injured. Officials separated Breakker and Reed, sending them backstage. But here's where it gets interesting, folks. The cameras caught something nobody expected. As the medical team tried to attend to Seth Rollins, he shoved them away. His eyes weren't showing pain anymore. They showed something far more dangerous, uncontrolled rage. Seth rolled off that broken table, grabbed a steel chair that was lying nearby, and instead of heading to the trainer's room like any rational person would, he went the opposite direction. He went hunting. The backstage area erupted into absolute mayhem. Seth burst through the gorilla position like a man possessed, screaming for Breakker and Reed. Production crew scattered. Superstars jumped out of the way. This wasn't the calculated Seth Rollins we know. This was something primal. He found them in the hallway near the locker rooms. Bron Breakker turned around just in time to see Seth launch that steel chair straight at his head. Breakker ducked, the chair crashed against the wall, and all hell broke loose. Seth dove at Breakker with wild punches. No technical wrestling here. No signature moves. Just raw, unfiltered aggression. He drove Breakker into the concrete wall, delivering knee strikes that echoed through the corridor. But then Bronson Reed charged in like a runaway train. Reed grabbed Seth from behind, attempting a deadlift suplex on the concrete floor. But Seth fought out, raking Reed's eyes in desperation. This wasn't about honor. This wasn't about rules. Seth had snapped, and survival instinct had taken over. Rollins grabbed a production crate and smashed it across Reed's back. The big man stumbled forward. Meanwhile, Breakker recovered and speared Seth through a catering table. Food and drinks exploded everywhere. Staff members ran for cover as these three warriors destroyed everything in their path. The fight spilled into the equipment storage area. This is where WWE keeps the ring components, ladders, tables, and all the tools of destruction we see on television. And Seth Rollins. He was about to use every single one. Breakker charged at Seth, who sidestepped and sent the young superstar crashing into a stack of steel chairs. The sound was deafening. But Reed was right behind, attempting to crush Seth against the wall. Rollins moved at the last second, and Reed's massive frame dented the metal wall. Seth grabbed a ladder. Not to climb it, to weaponize it. He swung it like a baseball bat, catching Breakker in the midsection. Then he turned and drove the ladder into Reed's knee, chopping down the big man like a tree. For a brief moment, Seth stood over both men, chest heaving, eyes wild. The camera zoomed in on his face, capturing something we rarely see, the complete dissolution of composure. Commentary emphasized this crucial point. Seth Rollins had become the very chaos he once controlled. But Breakker and Reed aren't just any superstars. They're monsters for a reason. Breakker was first to rise, blood trickling from his lip. That signature intensity in his eyes matched Seth's fury. Reed pulled himself up using a equipment crate, his jaw set with determination. The hunt had turned into a war, and nobody was backing down. The battle moved to the parking lot. Seth tried to escape, but not out of fear, he was looking for more weapons. He grabbed a trash can and hurled it at Reed's head. The big man barely flinched. Breakker tackled Seth across the hood of a production van. The three warriors fought across parked cars, denting hoods and shattering windows. Security tried to intervene but wisely kept their distance. This was personal. This was visceral. This was everything wrestling fans live for. Seth hit Breakker with a pedigree on the concrete. The young superstar's face bounced off the unforgiving surface. But Reed was there immediately, picking Seth up for a powerbomb. Seth desperately grabbed onto a car's roof rack, preventing the devastating move. Finally, what looked like the entire WWE roster flooded the parking lot. Superstars from both Raw and SmackDown formed human barriers between the three competitors. Adam Pearce, WWE's general manager, was screaming for order. Referees, producers, and road agents all worked to separate these warriors. But here's the incredible part. Even with 20 people holding him back, Seth Rollins kept fighting to get free. He was screaming challenges, promising more destruction, vowing that this wasn't over. The man had completely transformed. Breakker and Reed were on opposite sides of the parking lot, also being restrained, both yelling back at Seth. The tension was nuclear. You could feel through the screen that this rivalry had reached a boiling point that might never cool down. As order was finally restored, the camera captured the devastation. Broken equipment littered the backstage area. The hallway looked like a war zone. The parking lot resembled the aftermath of a demolition derby. And in the center of it all, Seth Rollins stood, being held back by 6 superstars, still trying to break free. The image of Seth's face, covered in sweat, possibly some blood, eyes still burning with unquenched fury, that's the image that closed the segment. That's the image that tells you this story is far from over. So what does this mean for Monday Night Raw going forward? What does this mean for Seth Rollins' psyche? The architect has always been about strategy, about manipulation, about being 3 steps ahead. But tonight, he abandoned all of that for pure aggression. This transformation makes Seth more dangerous than ever. Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed wanted to break him, but they might have created something far worse, a Seth Rollins with nothing to lose. The real question is, where does WWE go from here? Are we looking at a triple threat match at the next premium live event? Is Seth going to continue hunting these 2 monsters? Will Breakker and Reed continue working together, or will their egos tear them apart? What do you think happens next? Drop your predictions in the comments below. Do you think Seth can overcome both monsters? Are you Team Rollins, Team Breakker, or Team Reed? Let's discuss. If you enjoyed this breakdown of tonight's absolute chaos, make sure to like this video. Subscribe to Wrestlingverse CC for more incredible WWE content. Hit that notification bell so you never miss when we upload. And check out our other videos analyzing the biggest moments in wrestling. The architect has become the destroyer. Seth Rollins went from hunter to hunted to absolute wildman, and WWE's backstage area may never be the same. This is the kind of intensity that makes wrestling unmissable. Until next time, this is Wrestlingverse CC, and remember, in the world of professional wrestling, anything can happen, and tonight proved it. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Check out these other videos.